How everybody doing tonight? I'm William Dickens. We back. I've been pretty busy. I thought I would come back in tonight. Here, breaking the mental chains, ADOS way. I'm gonna try to keep this show as short as possible. I just want to touch on one or two things, and really, once again, connect the dots. So much is tied together. The distractions, the chaos, it's all tied together. Biggest of you would understand that if you understood the data. You would be well equipped to understand versus somebody being negative, versus somebody being positive, versus somebody trying to save your life. Now my dad was the kind of man, and he had had a couple sayings. One of the sayings he had was that I can't care about your feeling. I'm trying to save your GD life. And with that being said, when you're trying to save people's life, you can't be concerned if they stretch their knee when you're pulling them from the cliff they just fell from and they could fall to death. So, as I said, I'm going to keep this video kind of short. I'm going to try to nail it in 30 minutes, 30 minutes or less. To give you a way to see things with using the data instead of your emotions and symbolism. As always, it's the mind that a lot of times is being manipulated. Sometimes the information comes from the manipulator, but if it holds strong to what the data holds strong to, it's got to be in line with history, policies, and our lineage. One thing I want to say is, one thing you need to remember about when you look at yourself and when we think highly of ourselves, understand it ain't about what you think of yourself, but the outcome as when you market yourself and the buyer of what you're trying to sell. Whether it's filling out an application, trying to get a job, you go in, you got positive feelings, you got positive thoughts, you go in and you determine to do what you need to do to land this job. At the end of all of that, no matter how hard you try, how well you dress, how well you were spoken, the boss still has the power to hire and fire and deny. Always. So one thing we got to come to realization about, it's not about what you think about yourself. It's about the people and the institutions that's in a position of power to give you opportunity and deny you opportunity. Tonight's subject is going to be on that very thing. When I say being replaced because you're not the boss, but the employee. With that being said, we got to know the difference. I think too many of us are running around and do not know the difference in boss and employee because we've been sold an illusion of what a boss is through the eyes of rappers and entertainers and actors and all these people that, as Antonio Moore said many a time, that hold to be the decorative veil. And we must see them as such. Even if they don't know it, they refuse to listen because once the head becomes so big, it's hard to attain new information when this old information has benefited you so well. So here, that's why it's called breaking the mental chain. The key to real wisdom is freeing of the mind from things that you have been attempting to do in your life that ain't working, and nobody has the answer. Well, ADOS is here with the answer. The data is here with the answer. Our ancestors hold the answers. Our lineage holds the answers. So, tonight I'm gonna try to hit you hard with the difference between boss and employee. LeBron James is not a boss. He's an employee. See, he don't write the checks out. The owner of the team write the checks out, meaning the owner controls what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. Some may say, well, when LeBron James decides to quit, I'm telling you they already making chess moves, as you see what my shirt is saying. It's not checkers, it's chess. And I'm telling you that white supremacy, white institutions play chess. And if we don't get involved with playing chess, we will remain the chess pieces. I don't care what emotional talk you use. I am here to move my people forward in the right direction. Now, so with this being said, the first thing we need to know and understand is that critical thinking skills become a masterpiece in our movement, in the decision making we need to be making. Now, Obama has came out in support of an NBA African League. Now, people, this discussion has been going on. I've seen it on several social media sites. I tuned in and gave my advice, and I won't say opinion because I stated facts. And know it's a difference between an opinion and a fact. Opinion goes something like, it's nothing wrong with Obama doing what he's not the president. He's a black man. You always trying to undermine black men. First thing you need to understand is what is the definition of a black male in this new world in the United States have shaped. The geographic has changed. In 1930, black male meant something totally different than it means right now. We're talking about 70 years later. If you still stuck 70 years ago with your terminology, you still behind time. I am here to catch you up to speed. So, Obama, we've been saying it forever. He comes from a white mother. His daddy was Kenyan. My mother was sharecropper right here in America. My father was a sharecropper right here in America. Forced out of school in the second grade, never learning to read and write. Basically, when we are saying that Obama is not the American black, we are saying he do not have the same lived experience as William Dickens has, as William Dickens' brothers and sisters has had, as William Dickens' mother and father has had. He has William Dickens' mother group. He's more than likely he come from slave owners. He benefit from the descendants of slave owners. I benefit from the descendants of slaves. With that being said, we're going into this story because in order to understand being the difference in you being a chess player than the piece, you must be able to connect the dots to the information you see unfolding in front of you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen with an article that I have here. Give me just a minute. I'm going to go here. Where's she at? Here we go. This is the article. Okay. Can y'all see that? Yes. So here's the article. This article, as you see, President Obama joined the NBA African as a strategic partner. Now, if we go into this, and I know some might be like, what's the importance of it? The importance is through data. We started to read the article. Obama states in the article, I will read through, but like I said, I'm trying to keep this show under 30 minutes. So you can read this article when you get the chance, but this is where I'm pulling information from. With that being said, in this article, Obama is talking about how many young people are in Africa. And it's a lot of young people. So we need to be in Africa helping these young people. Right then, you must understand it. This is what we call the critical pivot point. Understand it's just as many young people, ADOS, black kids right here in America that don't have access to opportunity. Now Obama wants us, the descendants of slaves, to become mules for a whole nother continent to set them in front of our own needs. ADOS saying we ain't going for that. And the reason we ain't going for that, we chess players. The data says that, hold up, could they be possibly trying to replace us in the NBA? Now, know and understand, as much as y'all think you're American ADOS black players or super players, they great, nobody in the country could beat them, handle them. Understand, at the end of the day, to white capitalists, what they see. They see entertainment as entertainment, period. They know they got you hooked watching that basketball. They got you hooked watching that football. And you're going to watch regardless of who are the players on the court, as long as they can get players that appear to be black. Because too many of us don't understand lineage over pigma. And they know that. With that being said, they know it. You fall victim to it every single day because you don't understand your lineage. You don't understand the cost of being ADOS in America. Now Obama is partnership. Do you think like I said, you can read this article on yourself. It's saying that these leagues will be built on the continent of Africa. Now, who you think got the biggest payroll? Do you think the African League got the biggest payroll, or do you think the American League got the biggest payroll for its contracts? See, we got to always go back to the money of things. Very little do we go back to the money of things because we let our emotions take over. ADOS say you always got to look at the money. Now, if these players are good enough to play in Africa and they dominating the court, how long before America say, hey, I want him over here? And how much would it take to get him over here when they already just want to be in where America? Won't take a whole lot of money. I guarantee you they don't have to pay him as much as they pay LeBron James. And they'll get the same kind of performance out of him, and you will clap all the same. Because you will not understand the bamboozle that they're pulling over on you. As I've said, when you are being replaced, the boss can replace anybody because the boss writes the checks and he's the last determination of who he would like to see on the court. Now, this past couple of years, we had a lot of protests. We had a lot of ball players that protest. They want to play. They wanted to boycott the league over George Floyd. To me, they didn't boycott enough because even after George Floyd death, over 400 blacks was killed at the hands of police that nobody talked about. What I am saying to you, the killing hasn't stopped, and the protesters have. We are still here doing the work, saying, wake up, understand the time to fight back don't begin when another dead body drops. The time to fight never stops, never ends until victory is won. And change is upon us. And change ain't upon us because you heard them put a bill together and put George Floyd's name on it. A bill with no teeth because nobody takes the chance to read it and find out it's full of nothing. So, as I back to my topic is to understand what is happening. The scheme of things now is to replace the players in the NBA with another black. A black that appears black but has a different lived experience versus their experience in Africa, in Kenya, Nigeria, whichever country they come from off of that continent, to the lived experience of the Native American blacks here in America, dealing with the white supremacy institutions. Now, if you take a group that haven't been dealing with this institution of white supremacy, you bring them in, you give them millions of dollars, you bring them in, you make them citizens, you give them big homes. How many of them you think gonna boycott because a black man or a native black woman or a native black man gets shot down in the street? How many of them do you think gonna boycott? Not many. This, as Brian says in the comment, this of course is after the pandering to ADOS struggling for a vote. Exactly. We must come to terms and understand to be in front of moves. Now, like I said, the boss determines. You may think skills weigh out as much as they don't. Because understand, if you do the history on Michael Jordan, it's plenty of people that said it was players that was greater than Mike that didn't make the cut. So that's why I say we got to look at history. We got to know and understand that they don't really care about skill, because your skill can still be better than most of the players on the court and you will still look dominant. As Brian says, here's this public figure love to patronize the idea of helping Africans, yet we'll tell Black American youth they have no excuses to tell them to pull themselves up. Exactly. We want to pander Africa while we over here dealing with the most, still in the belly of the beast, dealing with the most discrimination, more ADOS men in prison, all race of women in the world, still being killed by the police, still are the last to get hired, first to get fired. All of these things packed against us, but yet they trying to galvanize us to go help another whole group that don't even really see themselves as us. As us. And I agree, employer, king and queen on the chessboard, employee, pawn. Up to the knight, the pawn brings the most up. What Brian is saying here is very powerful. This is exactly the strategy I'm telling you being used against us. And to get in front of, we got to see from symbolism and away from emotionalism. Okay, this, you can read his art. I kind of summed it up. His goal is to help Africans on the continent of Africa, in different countries in Africa. Nothing to do with us, but you still telling me that he is me and I am he. And I'm telling you, I know why he's moving the way he moves, because he know he's not me. You the one still struggling to figure it out, because I know he's not me either. Now I'm going to share another article here, because I want to give you some data to support what I'm telling you. So let me share my screen here on this other article. Hold on just a minute. So if we're going to talk about bringing in more people, we got to look at the data behind, as the article says, the NBA is every aspiring basketball player dream. Aspiring basketball player dream. It's every single one of them dream. Right now, it's a child somewhere that's playing outside right in the night in the dark. He's dribbling that ball. He's trying to make them shots. He's trying to get his handles down. You see it on TikTok, Instagram all day long. People are showing their kids off with that basketball. Even though me personally, I don't know how that's going to make you a critical thinker in a time when we need more critical thinkers than we do basketball players. That's why I'm here and building my kids to be critical thinkers. The difference between what's important and what's least important. And dribbling a basketball ain't one. But if you like it, maybe you need to understand what they getting ready to do to lock you out of it. So that's why I bring the show. Now, if you look here at this article, what you begin to see is that the NBA, everyone has an NBA, everyone has a story, everyone has a dream. If you grew up watching or playing basketball, then like me and your dream may have been to make it to the NBA. Little did we know how impossible was, or how far you were from achieving this goal. Now, this article is basically telling us the data behind this dream of being an NBA player. So by me telling you Obama, so I'm connecting the dots using the data. Not, you may think, oh, he just don't like Obama. I have facts of why I don't like Obama, not my emotion. The facts and the data to support why you shouldn't like him and why you shouldn't be listening to him. Because you better get in front of him, because he going to crush you. So back to the article. When you read this article, it's basically telling you it ain't a cakewalk getting into the NBA. So let's get down here to the data. And that's what ADOS like to deal with, the data. There are around 500,000 high school boys playing basketball players in America. Each year, around 16,000 of these players will play college basketball, whether that is a Division I, II, or III junior college. 110 of those college players will play at least one NBA game. Now, what you got to understand is just been said to you is Now, what has been said to you is, out of 16,000 players, only out of that 16,000 players, only 110 of these college players will play at least one game of NBA. Meaning it went from 16,000 to 110. Look at that drastic drop. And it's saying out of that 110, only one of them will play an NBA game. One game. So the odds of a male basketball player making it to the NBA is one. You talking about a 3% at the right of the decimal. Right now. That's without throwing in immigration coming in from Africa to play in the NBA. That's the data. That's how low the percentage is without including bringing in players from Africa to play. You can almost bet if they start bringing in players from out of the country to play, the odds go down to 1%. And I don't care what your child talent is. And I don't care what because once again, the boss get to choose who he really want to play, who he really don't want to play. Who you think he going to choose over? A player that's more likely to boycott because a black male been shot, a black woman been shot, or a player says, I'm not them. I'm not them. I'm from Kenya. I'm Kenyan. I'm Kenyan American. I'm Nigerian American. See, he has no ties, has no lineage. He's not tied to you in this country. So, and we got to dig into the data even more. Because you got to understand, right? When we look at what it's saying here, let's the average height in the NBA is 6'7", meaning the average height of a player in the NBA is 6'7". They even consider being 6 foot being short, being too short. Now, with that being said, another thing we got to look at is, what's the average height of an African American ADOS male in America? It's 5'9". That's the average height of an ADOS American male in America. 5'9". And 5'9" is definitely considered short. It's considered short. See? So understand, if the average height, 6'7", average weight, 220, when you got your child out there shooting that basketball, sun up to sundown, instead of having him understand politics and educating himself politically to understand and use his brain, it's the real power, not how you handle a basketball. I repeat, not how you handle a basketball. People don't understand it. Look, as Brian said here in the tweet, that's what we don't understand. See, we don't never look at this data. We just send our child on a wild goose chase without understanding what's really happening here. We never get in front on the chessboard because we don't pay attention to the moves being played. That's why we remain the chess pieces. Average height 6'7". 3% chance if you bring in foreigners, you can easily drop that to a 1% chance. Yet you don't know if your child gonna reach to be 6'7" neither. Because the average height in this country is 5'9". What should you think you should have your child paying more attention to? Should you not be teaching him what's the most important thing he can be involved with and understanding versus a thing that's just the odds that even if he reached them, it don't free him. It don't change his situation as being a black man, an ADOS man in America. The key to our success is getting real about the conversations we are having. So what I've basically shown you here is 3 different things important to, they're going to replace us not only in the workforce, but they're also going to replace us in the entertainment. If, I don't know how many of y'all looked at Netflix today, but I would like for you to click on it. And what I would like for you to do is see how many native blacks like me that talk like me, sound like me, or sound like you, versus sound like a Nigerian, a Kenyan, or somebody from Africa that look black like me. I want you to count how many of them on there versus people that sound like you. See, it's being an eraser done of ADOS, but yet we don't see it because we think pigma ties us together. It doesn't. Then the next thing I want you to go do is do a research on these immigrants coming out of Africa and all these other countries, how they view you and how they feel about you versus how you feel about them. Now, as ADOS always state, we are here for group uplift, for the American descendant of slavery to be uplift, made whole, built into the infrastructures of America, not locked out. So in order not to stay locked out, we got to get in front of the moves that white supremacy are making and how they are using people as tools to lock us out too. That's what ADOS is here for. That's the teaching that's got to be made. And we got to get away from calling people haters because we can't connect the dots in the conversation. See, I read something the other day and it talked about how our ancestors would be, if they got caught reading, they could be killed. Well, now we in 2021. And our people right now, current time, want research to save their lives, their own lives. We must change our mental state and stop seeing there is no problem. See, when you tell me I'm being negative and I ask simple questions, give me your data. Don't give me your emotions. Give me your data. Don't give me your symbolism. Give me your history to support the ideals that you tell me to support. If you can't back it with that information, don't ask me to support the ideal. So, my message to you tonight is know they're not only going to replace you in the workforce, they're going to replace you on the NBA, the NFL too. We're going to be locked out for a group that's already wealthless, with no wealth, tethered at this bottom. It may be time for this group to definitely understand boss from employee and to put in perspective that your religion belief ain't gonna fix this. That you're gonna have to be boots on the ground doing real work with a real understanding. As I said at the beginning of the show, has nothing to do with what you think of yourself because you're not the boss. You're the employee. We must get away from this understanding of what my worth is. It ain't about what your worth is because at the end of the day, the boss say the pay is 14. Take it or leave it. And what you gonna do when you gotta pay your bills and you got kids you gotta feed? It's time to wake up and understand when you at the mercy of the oppressor. And there's only one way to get his foot off our neck. That's reparations. That's a black agenda. That's politics. Doing the work. Sitting down, reading hours at night, researching things. Not just jumping in a conversation full of emptiness. You don't understand quantitative easing, yet you're in a conversation with somebody that do, and you try to undermine a conversation with ignorancy, saying you hating on somebody. I ask questions. I give out the data. I tell you where you can go. Understand if you want to understand why I'm against Obama and a lot of these entertainers is because I understand the way they move. They flock to things that don't really benefit black people. One other thing I would like to touch on, one subject I was in was on Nina Turner. She running in Ohio for Congress. People are saying I'm supposed to be excited. She come to change the game. I don't see anything where she's done to change the game. Matter of fact, I see her talking just like Bernie Sanders talk about doing something for everybody. We're going to do it for everybody. And let me clear up this everybody talk so you can understand. ADOS has had a Pacific damage done to them. A Pacific undermining that tethers us to the bottom. And it starts with slavery, a cruel disadvantage. To fix that, we're going to need something Pacific to aid us, not that's going to benefit everybody. So what you must understand, if it benefits everybody and you already at the bottom will still remain the bottom while everybody else still rise above you. So when you talking to these politicians and you're afraid to push back, but you say you for your people, no, you for you. What you really for is yourself. You'll do for self, and you just praise for a seat at the table to be in the presence of these politicians, so you can get some butter business. You don't really care if your group get anything. Well, but ADOS is here now. And we are saying we no longer going from that for nobody. It's either going to be about group uplift or nothing. As my man Brian say here, most jobs have an anti-will base. That is, they hire you at will and can just easily drop you with no substantial reason at will. This is the truth. Right to work mean they can get rid of you anytime they want to. They are the boss. And I don't care if you're dribbling a ball or running a football or hitting a baseball. It's hire and fire by the manager, the boss. The top dog calls the shot, not you. And what we need to get by is that they can't be replaced because, understand, sports come with a limit on it, an age limit. See, once the body starts to get so old, it has no choice. Slow down, shut down. But this up here outlasts the body. Maybe you need to work on this just as much as you work on this. Some of you don't understand that. That's why ADOS is here to build up critical thinkers. Once you start to move by the data, the emotion is gone. The emotion is tied to what it's going to take to fix your family members, to fix your nieces, your nephews. So we must become critical thinkers to get in front of the oppressor. And we must understand why we're not in front of them, because we always waiting for them to tell us how to think through the mouths of the decadent veil, which is black entertainers, these celebrities that are coons, to tell us. Jay-Z, Will Smith, tell you what to think, how to move, when they already been sold you out. Malcolm X said it. When the voice of the grassroots becomes the leading voice, that's the only way the grassroots will be heard. That being said, tonight I hope you learn the difference between boss and employee. Please understand, as always, to my people, I want you to become a chess player and stop being a chess piece. And to save your life, I can't be too concerned with your feelings when I'm trying to save your life. Good night. Hope to see. I'll be doing another video later this week. I try to keep these videos short, so maybe people will listen in and try to start connecting these dots. Um, Good night. Hope to see you in the middle of the week. Stay strong, stay focused, keep the line moving forward. I'm out of here.